Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. My name is Kevin, and on behalf of the Beyond Create Teaming Agreements team, I am here to present the closing report. This report is now being made in connection with the project ID 800045 under Cardano Catalyst Fund 8. An overview of this project. This project is aimed to further develop the Create Teaming Agreements project in Fund 7, which was approved before this. And in our Fund 7 project, we created a template, teaming agreement, and made it available to the community for free. So, with that in mind, the team continued in Fund 8 with the same members, Len Delunas, Christophe Bosquillon, and Kevin Koo. The objectives for this Fund 8 project was firstly to provide practical guidance and knowledge to distribute to teams, which were exactly the same people that we wanted to target in our Fund 7 project. And secondly, to provide a useful resource on teamwork and legal aspects of crypto projects. And this was actually to enhance the knowledge of the community members, as well as to help them address certain needs in their project. So there were 7 aspects that we have to tackle, and these were our challenge KPIs. So the first is the project definition, the second is our implementation plans, the third was our legal and regulatory framework, the fourth was the research on crypto externalities, the fifth was the multimedia approach via our website, the sixth was market and technology research, and the seventh was community engagement. And this has been covered in the closing out report. So to go through with it briefly, KPIs 1 and 2, KPI 1 was actually the finalization of the overall project definition, scope, plan, and work breakdown structure. As well, in KPI 2, it was the creation of the overall project implementation plan. And both of these KPI 1 and 2 were addressed with this F8 project, Beyond Create Teaming Agreements, as the continuation of the duly completed F7 project, Create Teaming Agreement Templates, and we took it to the next level. Now, for your information, the previous project ID was 700080, and it was completed in March 2022. And the previous project deliverables consisted of 4 templates, which were the teaming agreement, the deed of accession, general contract for services, and a project charter. We also supplied some pre-filled schedules as most frequently used contractors. And we have... Now coming back to our project, there were some project deliverables. And for this Fund 8 thing, we wish to cover. First of all, there was a teaming guidance tool, which we had prepared. There was also the legal and crypto info website. And in it, we prepared news updates, guides to legal topics, and other content. Some of the achievements that we managed to achieve during the time of our Fund 8 project included, firstly, publishing the Beyond Create Teaming Agreements website. Secondly, we published news summaries, commentaries, and job vacancies in the Web3 space. Thirdly, we published guides for the community, for example, creating a stablecoin within the legal framework of my country, Malaysia. Fourthly, we published an online book about teamwork, and that's the guide to teaming up. Fifthly, we subscribed to a social app called Heartbeat, and this app was equipped with a mobile app from the Google Play Store, and it could help us to connect with the members and have online meetings. I'd like to cover some of the learnings from our experience in this Fund 8 project. Even though our website was educational, not many users appreciated it. In fact, we were pumping out news updates as well as commentary, and we even had a social media account, but there was not much comment from members of the public. They just accepted it as part of the work that we should be carrying out. Secondly, social media account users who knew about our project helped to promote it to other community members. And this was because they interacted with us through the social media, and they began to speak about this project in Twitter Spaces as well as other forums which we may not be aware about. Thirdly, we learned that agreements ideally should be digitally signed, stored and verified. And this was a natural outcome of talking to people about teaming agreements. So after there is an agreement, then they would like to sign it. And because they're distributed, they would like to verify that the agreements are indeed genuine, authentic, and having been signed by whoever claimed to have signed it. So this is the ideal outcome, that the agreement should be digitally signed, stored online, and be verifiable. Next, compliance will be even more important for future projects, and we find that this is also the same direction that Charles Hoskinson is taking, in which compliance is built into a project, and is compliance by design. We understand that this is important as well, and we may pursue this path in the future. Lastly, some plans could not be carried out. For example, we considered developing an online course on teamwork. So it was an idea in which we thought maybe, there might be certain dynamics which could be addressed through an online course, but setting up an LMS may take some time, and shooting videos as well as preparing course materials would also take some time. So this could be something that we would do on our own in the future if this project is to continue, but let's see how it goes. So at this juncture, we are considering the next steps, and there are 3 that we identified. So the first might be to disband the project team, and this is not a total loss, because the materials that we have prepared can be archived and can be uploaded to platforms like GitHub. In any case, they are already available. In Fund 7, we uploaded our deliverables to the Catalyst website. For Fund 8, we could collate all the materials that we have published and upload them as well to a suitable platform. So it will not be a total loss. The project's deliverables can still be enjoyed by members of the community. An alternative next step might be to evolve the project into a legal tech SaaS. SaaS is a software as a service, which means a cloud service. And having identified the need perhaps to allow agreements to not only be formulated, but also to be signed, as well as collected, recorded, and become verifiable, I think this is something that might be considered if we are going for a SaaS. In fact, teamwork is such a large topic that even the implementation of whatever was agreed upon in the agreement, the carrying out of it, the execution of it, might also be a target for future projects. If we are going to a SaaS, then project management and tracking the deliverables might be important, but more important and more relevant is the documentation of these agreements. Finally, if we are going to continue to develop this project, there may be a need to incorporate generative AI in future iterations of this project. And that's because AI is now able to generate text based on a knowledge base, based on a database of documents, and this can very easily help us to create a draft teaming agreement which is tailored for the circumstances of a specific team, rather than giving them something which is too generic or too overloaded with too many options in which they get confused. They can then specify what they want and explain about their circumstances, feed that into a website or an interface, and then the website will then feed it to an AI which then formulates the agreement. It will be a draft. It will not be a final agreement, but it would be close enough for someone to take it to a lawyer, look through it, and amend it. Or if they have team members who are skilled enough, they can just go through the draft and amend it from there. So that's the third option. So in closing, I would like to share some of my thoughts. Firstly, regarding this project, we believe that it could potentially assist new teams, especially with the profile that we described, distributed teams which are coming together in the ecosystem, in the Cardano ecosystem. And that's because many of them are coming from all around the world. They do not have a face-to-face relationship. Maybe they meet only through the internet. And that's why the agreement is so important. Secondly, teaming agreements may be more useful if they can be signed online, recorded, and be verified by anyone, anywhere in the world. And I think this is part of the ethos in which we would like to confirm certain documents are existing. Some of the solutions that we have out there involve maybe having a checksum for a file, and just having that checksum by a certain criteria, we say that this is the same file as what was notarized before. And I don't think that's good enough, because it doesn't say anything about the contents. I believe that it would be of great help if the agreements can actually be inspected by whoever needs to inspect them, perhaps community members in positions of leadership, or perhaps validators, or anyone who's following up with these teams. So I believe these agreements, even though they may contain certain private details, yet there is a need for them to be open and inspected by anyone who's interested in it. The tracking of teamwork is also important, and we do have tools like that in the marketplace. In fact, even for the one before this, talking about tracking of documents, maybe DocuSign can be a relevant use case, but that's not crypto based. But DocuSign is an example of what could be used, or PandaDoc is another example. Alright, so if that's possible, but the work that we're talking about, because it involves an actual agreement, maybe even KYC is also important, because when people come together in a decentralized space, we do not know their actual identity, and the fact that they are signing using their decentralized wallets or their email or through their browser doesn't exactly give confidence that they are who they say they are. So therefore, KYC might be an important part of it. Now, coming back to the last thing that I was talking about, tracking teamwork is also important, and there are many tools out there for project management, for tracking of projects. And I don't think that that's the scope which was the focus of this particular project. So perhaps some other group can look at it. And finally, I think that the project could become self-sustaining if it pivots into a SaaS model. But that's again up to the team members to discuss, and we will see what happens. We see that the project has three main dimensions. It is desirable, it is viable, and it is feasible. So from the team, I wish to tell you, thank you, from Len Delunas, Christophe Bosquillon, and Kevin Koo. Thank you.